All
Hey,
right.
Chad.
What's up, everyone?
Hey,
Welcome back to Chad's home. Today I'm with a band from right here in the City of Angels, the Honeysticks. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
having us.
So I want to talk about your debut EP because it's just a self-titled EP, and that's really all you have in the marketplace, right?
That's
For the
correct.
Honeysticks. But it sounds, to me, it just sounds so like mature and great. It doesn't really feel like a
Thank you.
debut project. So I imagine it wasn't your guys' first venture into music. So like, what were you guys doing before making? I know like you have a solo project. Like, were you guys also making music?
Well, I'm a plant biologist,
Okay.
and I've been doing that full time for several years. And I turned down a job in Oregon about, I guess it was almost 5 years ago now, to be in this band. And yeah, I've just been doing that to support myself. And I studied biology, didn't think I was going to go down the music path. I was always playing in bands throughout college or whatever. But yeah, this is the first, I guess, serious project I've ever been a part of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I played in other groups before, kind of doing the hired gun thing
Got
around
it.
LA, playing like pop and just kind of whatever I can, and stuck with these guys and just have loved the music and playing with them ever
Got
since.
it.
So.
So you had experience then like in
Yeah.
other bands and
Yeah.
recording music and things.
Yeah.
Nice. And did you like what was first? Ricky Montgomery?
Well, so I've been doing music since I was like 14. I think that was my first band. I've been doing music in different capacities since then. I was going to college for journalism, and like none of my credits transferred. So luckily for me, I had been doing Vine at the time. This was like 2013. And I had a pretty large following at the time, and I was kind of like, well, YOLO, I'll follow this side of my career. And then I got an internship. I just like started DMing people on Vine, and I had a friend who worked at Adult Swim as a creative director for one of their projects, and he offered me an internship, and I dropped out of college to move to New York to take that, and I did that, and that kind of just got me more into like the scene. And I at the time was working on an EP with the producer who did my solo album, and we're currently working with him again, and put that out during that internship, and it charted. And so I was in this weird place where like I wasn't going to school, and the music was going well. I was just kind of like running on like just adrenaline at the time.
Yeah.
And so I decided to go back to St. Louis for a year and just make an album. And that's my album that you referenced earlier called Montgomery, Ricky. And then with that, I moved here in 2015. And there's like a Facebook Messenger DM from him of like 2014 that I'm going to like, whatever we get to our peak, I'll just post this on social media, the conversation. But basically he was like, hey dude, we should like make a band sometime if you ever move to LA. And I was like, cool, I'll hit you up.
I distinctly remember sending that too.
Yeah. And
It's like from my shitty dorm room. Like,
Yeah.
and I did when I came here. That was 2015, and I had, like you said, I had like a lot of experience recording music by that point. I would always like hire drummers and stuff, and my producer got me really into the idea of like, no matter what, your drummer has to be just amazing. Like you have to have like a perfect drummer basically to have any shot at having a song with a lot of streams. And so then I went to Craigslist, and I was like, we're looking for a permanent drummer to join our band. And then somehow miraculously Ryan responded to it, got him on Craigslist. It can happen. I'm telling you, it's out there. People are looking, and they're good.
The musician part, right? Not the misconnection.
No. Yeah. That is how we found Ryan.
There's a musician
But we
only.
were also looking for drummers.
Ryan had multiple
Just wanna
listings.
clear
We
that
had
up
to
there.
choose the
Just
right
a
one.
huge coincidence. It really worked out. Yeah, I mean, we had another guy at the time, Caleb, who was also a Vine person that I knew. He was just like my neighbor at the time, and he happened to also be a musician. And then he co-wrote the first EP with us. He's doing a solo project now. Yeah, so by the time we did our debut EP, I had already done like personally a lot of stuff. Yeah, now we're just kind of trying to, well, that one like we like self-produced. And now we're trying to like, at long last, get all of our infrastructure together into one place, and that'll be hopefully realized by the time this EP comes out.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense because in listening to it, yeah, it's just like sounds so good and like all the textures and just different things you guys throw on it. So I was like, this does not sound like a new band, like
not at all.
debut project. Yeah. What song are you most proud of on the EP?
I probably Out Like a Light, just because it was a song. I think I went to St. Louis myself. We recorded that one in St. Louis. That was the only one in the EP we didn't do in LA. I went back to St. Louis for like a month at a time, I think twice. Like no job, just fuck it. I'm going to be at my mom's house and just like every single day drive 30 minutes to this home studio where we recorded that. And I just, for the first time, like didn't take any bullshit. I was just like, these are my ideas. This is how we're doing it. No producer or engineer can tell me like anything. Like these are the visions that we have for this. It created a bit of animosity, but I think it got us to a point where the song was as good as it could have been. And I think that shows in how much success we've had with that song, which is currently like the reason we have as many monthly listeners as we do, I think, pretty single-handedly.
Yeah. I was going to say that must be really rewarding and kind of like a reminder to trust your instincts because that's like your biggest song, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It's exactly what it's that.
Yeah.
To a T.
That's great. What about you guys? Do you have, or what's your favorite song on the EP?
I'd probably say Out Like a Light too. I like the second version too.
Yeah.
Because I joined like right as soon as they put it out.
Got it.
And I guess kind of how we would play it live was just like a slowed down version. And so that was the idea with re-releasing the second version of it. And I love that sample Ricky put in there.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Should we can we tell? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think it's on our Instagram. Anyway, do you want to say your song first?
Oh yeah,
Well, Out Like a Light.
Okay, cool.
Kind of for all the reasons you guys mentioned. There's just so much time and effort put into that song, and just to see the outcome from all that effort is, like you said, very gratifying.
Yeah, nice. Very cool.
Excuse me. There's a lot of carbonation in this drink, so I keep burping. Oh yeah, the sample. That's my aunt. Mary Lou is her name. She's my great aunt from Kentucky. And one day at dinner, my uncle would just show me videos on his phone. He'll like take really embarrassing photos of my grandparents all the time when they're like just like double chinning or like just looking horrendous. He'll like save those photos and then like publish them to like all of our group chats in the family. That's what he's known for, just like terrorizing everyone. And he was just like interviewing her one night because she has all these horrible, sad, violent stories from being just in a really dark family in Kentucky. And the minute I heard that story, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I got to use it for something. And I didn't know what it was going to be for. And then we were making Out Like a Light too. And I just like threw it in the timeline of the song. And it just like, there's a point in the song where like the music like takes like a rest, like it all pulls out and then it comes back in, and like just it happened to like fall exactly where she said like, and you got hacked to death.
Yeah.
And then my uncle's response, I just knew immediately like, yeah, fuck it, who cares?
And originally, when we put it into this guy Zach at Big Bag Sound was engineering it all, and there was one take we did where we had like a devil voice kind of in the end. So it's like you hear it and it progresses, and then by the time she's just hacked to death or whatever, it's like super devilly sounding. It didn't end up on the final mix, but it's somewhere. I think we should.
Was that like the spirit of? Wasn't there on one of your vlogs like Belial or like something?
Oh my God, we can talk about the vlog. Yeah, that's all real. Those are real videos that happened to me.
Damn. is the vlog gonna be like continued, or because you guys have Patreon, right?
We have a Patreon.
And is that where you're gonna host some vlogs and just like additional content, or what's your idea behind the Patreon?
We want to. I mean, we're shooting video all the time right now. Speaking of which, we got to get some footage of this thing today. Like that's what we're doing. We're just like yesterday we had a photo shoot. Tom's 1 hour photo. Go there. It's the cheapest, best quality. No, I shouldn't say that. We've had other photographers. It's the most cost-effective photography we've ever had done.
Tom's a great guy too.
Amazing.
Shout out to Tom.
But the vlog, we want to make vlogs. I've tried making that vlog so many times since then, to just either no avail, or it just wasn't the same, and it was trying to like emulate the last thing and wasn't as good, or like it was like trying too much to be the thing it was before, rather than like a continuation or an evolution. And that's largely because the guy who shot that, his name is Andrew Sawicki. He was a middle school friend of mine who was staying with me at the time in my apartment. And people liked his editing so much, he ended up getting like all these huge like YouTuber gigs. And now he's like editing for Shane Dawson and is his videographer, who's one of the biggest YouTube people. So like half of my friend group at the time just like got kind of like swept up into Shane Dawson land. And I was still doing this. I was like, oh, cool. Go off. So they have other more like financially viable things to work on. Mm-hmm. And so the thing for us now is to find kind of like a true way to embody that same energy, but without like another person behind the camera, kind of like being like the hype man. Because ultimately that was like the appeal of having somebody like that, was somebody who just laugh way too hard at all your jokes. Right. You can't do that to your own jokes without seeming like a psycho. So that's the trouble now.
Good point.
Don't laugh at your own jokes.
Yeah, you can and you should, but not as hard as Andrew laughs at jokes.
Very fair. But yeah, I appreciate it, just like your guys' branding all together. Like the Patreon thing I think is really cool. But also like the single H as a brand. Like how did that idea come to be?
That is not our joke. I wanted to say that immediately. That is Xavier Guerra. I don't know how to say your last name. I'm sorry, Xavier. But he's my friend Xavier, who's an amazing photographer. He's, I think, MTV's photo editor.
Oh, dang.
I don't know if is that your job title? If you're watching this, Xavier, sorry if it's wrong. But
comment if that's your job title.
Comment, yeah.
Comment below.
But he and my this group chat that I'm in on Twitter with some other Twitter people. They started just tweeting H, and then I saw like 100 geeks do it in an interview once, and so I just started doing it, and I was like, oh, this works out with like the Honeysticks because it starts with the letter H. So it was not related, and I started doing it because I was like, this would be a good way to get people to just comment on a picture. It's a very low friction call to action.
Right.
It's better than an emoji, because when people, if you were like on Instagram, like comment an emoji if you agree with this post. You're telling your audience to go into their keyboard, go to a second keyboard, scroll through all these emojis, like force themselves to look really closely at all their little emojis, pick the one you want. That's 35 seconds they spent on your picture.
Right.
No one's gonna do that.
Yeah.
If it's an H, right there, you know where the H is. You've been typing your entire life.
Genius.
Genius. But that was the idea behind that. And now it's just kind of, I don't know, it's stuck. And so we're going to continue doing it, I presume.
Nice.
But that's where that came from.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool because that kind of brings up another point. Having such a successful influencer career, you have more of, I don't know, a different marketing perspective, or different things that you were doing with Vine. Have you brought a lot of that into the band and into your music from just like a marketing standpoint?
Yes, definitely. We this is what we spend a lot of our time talking about. But also, there was a period where we were not a band, which we can talk about last year.
Solid 7 months.
Like a solid, yeah, long time. And in that time, I was co-founding a marketing agency, and then after that, we like got funding, and then like it was taken away, and we had to fire our entire staff. And then I had a creative agency with one of my coworkers from that agency, and so that whole like 8 months I had spent just like getting better at digital marketing specifically. And so then when like it came time to like, when I like started looking at like the band, and I saw like the numbers just getting way bigger without any like work put into it.
Yeah.
It like forced me in a really good way, I think, to rethink everything that I was doing from like a social media manager perspective. And now I think we have seen a lot of like just a lot more success because we are able to kind of think about things in a much more kind of business oriented way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really good advice just for like any bands, because I feel like a lot of people don't do that and have great content and music and all these things, but just don't know how to market it or don't even think about it.
I could rant about that for 4 hours if you want. I could. I could.
I think a lot of artists would benefit from having a brand book, if not an official one that they just made themselves, just thinking about the colors they want to use consistently,
right,
motifs, general themes to allude to. I think that can be a really helpful exercise.
Yeah. Well, with that, are there kind of like certain themes of the Honeysticks that you're trying to get across in your music?
Nothing overtly. I'd say that. We're definitely not trying to push any agenda or any message. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the music is sort of a reflection of our own lived experiences. Probably more so for you since you're writing the lyrics.
What I think is really unique about the music is the use of samples. Like we use a lot of like creative use of samples. Ricky will just, I mean, your voice memos is probably just like, he's probably on like 500 now, but it's like, I like all of like the samples he puts in and use of just everyday sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to apply rap production to like indie songs. Was kind of like the most basic way to refer to what we've been trying to do. My favorite music is like, I guess modern hip hop is generally what I listen to. Okay. Like Madlib, anything he does, I'm obsessed with. Or like, we like JPEG Mafia a lot right now. A lot of artists who try to use like the producer's chair as an instrument in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that definitely, I think, is something that I guess that would be maybe a theme that we are trying to do, is to kind of approach the production from hopefully a more modern perspective. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So are you actually like recording sounds on your phone and then bringing them into the...
Yeah, there's one song we have right now that's based, like the main the main instrumental part is this like... I just found this like iPhone memo from like 2018 on my phone where I'm just like playing at a Guitar Center on like a keyboard. And I guess I saved it for later for like an idea, but I just couldn't find the sounds again. And so I was like, okay. And I took that sample and then like I EQ'd it and like I cut it up certain ways to make it like certain parts longer so they were full bar. We do a lot of stuff like that right now.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
There's also one on I Don't Love You Anymore. Of Ben. What are you talking about again?
I'm talking about Dark Souls level design.
Yeah.
For anyone who's into From Software games.
Nice.
Very beginning of the song, there's just a sample of Ben talking about the map design in Dark Souls. I was sitting down in his living room and he was just like nerding out over the game. And I was like, that's going in the song, 100%.
That's great. It's an Easter egg. There you go.
I wonder how many recordings he has of us, Ben.
Oh, you'll never know.
Our apartments are bugged.
Exactly, yeah.
No.
Just for sampling.
Right.
Need to check on that. Do an audit soon.
Right. Yeah, because I saw like the toy that you guys picked up at like a pharmacy. Or
Yeah.
something.
Oh yeah,
And,
you
like,
watched. You did
the behind
your
the
research.
scenes. Yeah. That's really cool. I appreciated
that. Was,
that.
well, we just wanted to have like random shit in the songs.
Yeah.
And we were just like walking around like the toy section of a store because we were thinking like, what makes noise? Oh, toys. And yeah,
Nice.
there's a truck in one of the songs.
Love it. So one of the last things I wanted to talk about was your guys'. You did spend time apart last year.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was it like? Why did you put it on hold, and what was the thing that brought you back together?
I mean, I had like kind of sat the band down, and I decided that I had been kind of feeling this way for a while. I just didn't want to be a musician at the time. Like my career, I didn't want that to be it at the time. And that was largely because of some family stuff that I was going through. My stepdad had just gone into sepsis from this botched back surgery he had to do. And my mom's like been divorcing all the time her whole life. And so I was kind of prepping myself to like be like the provider figure in my family.
Right.
And so I just felt like trying to make music work it shouldn't have been my priority at the time. Then he recovered and was okay. And I had another job. That really was what got me into like the startup world, because I was like, where do I go? I don't have a degree. So I got to go into social media, and that just eventually brought me there. So that was from my perspective what it was. But also our member Caleb was wanting to do solo music at the time. I don't want to speak for him, but I think that he just wanted to be more creatively independent, which, I hardly can fault someone for that, being that exact same personality type. But yeah, so it was a lot of stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have more input there.
I mean, about the time the band broke up, I got a new job, which I still have, which I love. And then when the band came back together, I don't know, everything sort of coalesced in this crazy way. But I was just back into the biology world after the band broke up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think what happened too is like it wasn't like an equally weighted kind of thing. It was just like, I feel like Ricky, you were doing most of the work for everything, and you just got burnt. Yeah, yeah. Because but now, like, what's different now is we're all kind of, have our own contribution we can to the band. So it's we're all kind of we're equaling out all the work now.
Yeah.
So it's a little easier, I think.
Not as overwhelming, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that Out Like a Light 2 song that we were still working on up until like the end of the year, which was at the time kind of like something we would check in and out of. This was like during our like hiatus period. And then I don't know, I guess for me, like what made us get back together was just like seeing the band have success passively when we were not working on it. Like that was really when like the song started getting more popular and stuff. Like Out Like a Light hit 1 million, and then like everything else started, like my solo project, like just millions started happening, and now they're like much larger. And so it actually miraculously got to the point where we couldn't justify not working on it. It was like, this is
irresponsible not to.
It was like our best career opportunity, which is just,
that's amazing.
Nobody could have anticipated that. But yeah, so it actually became like the like most logical path for us at a certain point. And so I think that's
incredible.
Ultimately what got us working on this again.
Nice.
And that's why we're here today.
Amazing.
Chugging along.
Yeah. Love that. Could you guys, last question, describe the difference between the hive, the swarm, and the bees?
They're all the same.
Well, yes and no. I can. So the Hive refers to our Discord, which you can sign up for on our Twitter. I'll share a link today, the day that this comes out. Today referring to in future, not this day. But the Hive is the Discord, so it's like a forum or like a group chat for all of the people who are in that chat. The Swarm is the fandom. It refers to the collective hive mind of our fans, which does exist and is strong. Bees are individual members of the Hive or the Swarm. So you can be a member of the Hive and the Swarm. Those are not necessarily the same thing.
I stand corrected.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yes. But they are all one and the same in a sense. Ben is not really wrong.
We're really just trying to start a cult. I mean,
It's the best way to market yourself, truly. Yeah.
So upcoming, we got the Greer tour.
Yeah.
Happening soon.
We do have the tour. And we've got a couple other tours being planned right now. They're not announced as of today. But yeah, it's just kind of, that's what we're mostly planning, is like release schedules and then kind of lining them up with the tours.
Gotcha.
So music will come out at the same time that we're on tour.
Okay,
Is what
great.
we're planning on.
So
right now.
we should expect new music in like Mayish, June from
Yes.
you guys. And then leading into an album.
We are figuring that part out. We are definitely like working toward an EP right now.
Okay.
But we're more focused on just individual songs at the moment
Cool.
as I speak today. Yeah.
Sweet.
But that'll change soon, I'm sure.
Love it. And then was there anything else you guys wanted to mention or any shout outs to anyone before we get into the music?
Joe. Shout out to Joe.
Shout out to Joe
Shout out to
Ruzica,
Joe.
our manager, who is making
On
everything possible for us right now. Anything else? Any other people to
Topo
shout?
Chico.
To John.
To John Heiser, he was our producer right now, who's working on this EP tirelessly with us. He has a project called Hello Ground that you should look at. And we'll be shilling for him all year, I'm sure. And Topo Chico, which just, I just found out about today, but I am absolutely mesmerized. I'm a slave to Topo Chico.
Yes,
Get yours
thank
today,
you.
folks.
Thank you so much, Topo Chico. Appreciate the
Topo
waters.
Chico.
Appreciate the fridge.
Where can you even buy these things?
I think they're at like coffee shops, most grocery stores, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Most grocery stores.
Nice, good stuff. Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
being on the show.
Yeah.
And stick around. The Honeysticks are about to play some music right now.
We are the Honeysticks coming at you live from Chad's home. This song is called I Don't Love You Anymore. Do-do-do-do, 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 do-do-do-do-do-do. I don't love you anymore. And it just dawned on me this morning. I don't feel it anymore. I hope you don't mind me leaving. But, ooh, baby, won't you stay with me just one more day? Ooh, baby, please don't cry, don't cry, and don't kiss me goodbye. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Maybe I'll go back to St. Louis. Maybe I'll go back to school. I'll get a good job like I wanted. Blow my brains out in my pool. But, ooh, baby, won't you stay with me just one more day? Do 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 do. This song is called This December by Ricky Montgomery, who is also the Honeysticks. Only in my darkest moments can I see the light. I think I'm prone to getting blinded when it's bright. Well, this December I'll remember. Want you to see it when I do. Ooh, God knows I do. Only in my darkest moments can I see the light. I think I'm prone to getting blinded when it's bright. This December I'll remember. Want you to see it when I do. Ooh, God knows I do. Well, I'm alright if you're alright, and I'm okay if you're okay. It's this state, in this state I'm living in. It's just a little bit, it's just a little bit lonely in this home. It's always colder on your own, my darling. I let the season change my mind. Only in my darkest moments I wanna see you with your head wide open, empty in the ground, gone without a sound. Just another white elm growing at the end of town. Well, this December I'll remember. Want you to see it when I do. Ooh, God knows I do. Well, I'm alright if you're alright, and I'm okay if you're okay. It's this state, in this state I'm living in. It's just a little bit, it's just a little bit lonely in this home. It's always colder on your own, my darling. I let the season change my mind. I'm alright if you're alright, I'm okay if you're okay. It's this state, in this state I'm living in. It's just a little bit, it's just a bit. Maybe this December I'll remember. Want you to see it when I do. God knows I do. This song is called Out Like a Light. Ooh. 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 Take me up tight, strung up like a kite, dumb, wicked and white. Love me in spite, and if I betrayed our lonely nights, spent out like a light, with no kiss goodnight. Did your mother always seem to hate me? I'm sicker every day, and now I'm terrified of talking to my friends, only to stay stuck dreaming of our firstborn and your hair covered in popcorn. You never leave, you never leave, you never leave. You leave me uptight, strung up like a kite. Dumb, wicked and white. Love me in spite, and if I betrayed our lonely nights, spent out like a light, with no kiss goodnight.